next up for our final presentation, before we move on to that panel, we welcome Bruno Finco. Bruno is the co-founder and CTO of MOVEdot. He is here to talk about how to use AI to remove bottlenecks during data analysis. Bruno focuses on turning complex engineering data into autonomous investigations and actionable decisions, reducing dependency on inefficient manual analysis workflows. Let's see. Hi, Bruno. How you doing?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for the intro. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, your audio is fantastic.
Okay, excellent.
All right,
Hello,
thank
everyone.
you.
Super excited to be here with you guys. Enjoyed a lot of the presentation so far. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about MOVEdot and our work with AI agents focused on product development and testing hardware. So my background is, let me share my screen as I speak. This is what we're building at MOVEdot. So I'm Bruno, the co-founder and CTO of MOVEdot. My background is automotive engineering, hardware engineering. I've been there for 10 years, and to the point that I faced so many problems becoming the bottleneck of the process that we decided to found MOVEdot together with my co-founder. So for the last years, we have been implementing AI agents to remove this bottleneck. What is the bottleneck that we're talking about? So this might be familiar with every single engineer over here. So whenever I was developing a project, I had all of the sensors that I needed. I had all of the testing rigs that I needed. I had all of the on-track validation that I needed. I had all of the simulation that I needed. But this was so much information that I could really only process and look at maybe 20 or 30% of it, and I had to move on. Why? Because, well, first, as an engineer, I had my managers expecting me to deliver results in a day or in a week, while I needed a month to review everything. And then when I was the manager, I understood that because the markets move so quickly and customers need answers so fast. So I was clearly the bottleneck in this process. We were investing so much time for me to be the bottleneck. So this is why we implement AI agents. So the vision that we have for AI layer and what we're deploying with our customers, but I think it's a good mindset for everybody to have, is this concept of the AI layer. So if we look on the left without the AI layer, so what does it typically look like when you are an engineer? You are managing hundreds or realistically thousands of data files manually. And then you have to also communicate with many different members from different divisions. And the whole process is mostly you doing the heavy lifting. It's you finding files, pulling files, converting files, processing this data, this video, make them work together. And then there you go. You spent 1 week to review a single test. And as managers, we have to stop our engineers for maybe an entire week to give us a single answer. And clearly, there is a problem with this workflow. So when we build the AI layer, we create this interface between engineers, managers, and all of the data that is available. So we end up with this unified evidence base that it's not the job of the engineer, of the human, to navigate all of this mass, all of this complexity. No, the job of the engineer is to think of the methodology, bring its expertise, have the right questions, and then have the AI answering those questions, processing those files. And same for managers. So now with customers implementing this AI layer, we have engineers doing days of working hours and managers finally getting the answer during the meeting, not 1 week after. So that's the concept that I wanted to touch upon. So how does it work in practice? Well, we have hundreds or thousands of agents deployed at an organization. So these agents, they are connected to inputs, and they have also a way to express their opinions, express their analysis. So on the left side in blue, we have the agents connected to all of your telemetry files, lab measurements, different file types, including video, audio, notes. We have test standards and documentations, and we have project management tools. All right, so the agent can collect all of the info that it needs. And then the agent needs to act, right? Because we're not here, so maybe 2025, we were thinking about agents that just answer questions. No, 2026 is about having agents executing and performing actions. Let me give you a few concrete examples here. We can have an agent that can write to a database, obviously with human approval. We're going to touch a lot on that. We can have the agent writing reports, interactive dashboards. We can have agents sending you alerts. Whenever you have autonomous agents running on a scheduled basis, they might want to warn you about something that went wrong on the lab, for example. So they can message you, they can email you. And agents, this is a concept we'd like to talk about, which is what we would call physics-informed agents, where agents can use simulation tools, like some of my colleagues in the conference were touching upon, to verify its results and iterate on those results. But what is the beauty about AI agents? Not only they can collect information, they can take action, but they work at scale. So in an organization, we're going to have hundreds, thousands of agents. And the most important part is these agents are improving. They are working with you. They're not just there as an assistant. They are becoming a colleague. So you interact, you debate, you question, you ask for, you engage. And with this, you are building knowledge, you're building skills, you're building new set of actions that weren't possible before. But what happens when you have a platform, which is the AI layer in place? One agent will collaborate with the other. And what was developed with one human will be also useful for the other human. So with all of this collaboration and shared knowledge, it becomes an exponential growth. Your entire system is getting better at a pace that it was impossible for humans just communicating to do so quickly. So what does a typical analysis with the agents look like? And guys, I wanted to make this conversation interactive, all right? So I will stop sharing my screen because I don't want to show you a PowerPoint. I want to show you a product. I want to show you what a concrete example would look like in practice. So here we're going to do a very quick live demo. In this example, we are a car manufacturer, let's say, or a car development consultancy. We have received active dampers. You guys know dampers will allow the car to be more comfortable. Active dampers is a whole other level, but they are also very complicated. So we're going to have design and simulation sources of data. So we're going to have all of the design characteristics of the different iterations that we received from a supplier. We will then test these components using our standards, just the component alone. Then we'll put it in a suspension system, in this case that we're developing a vehicle, and do a hardware in the loop bench testing. Then we're going to test the entire vehicle on a 4-post rig, as we call them, to evaluate platform control and comfort of the vehicle. And lastly, we're going to validate that. So this is the full cycle, right? We're going to validate that with a real driver providing real feedback. But guys, this simple development cycle, one single iteration, this is 100 files that I need to manage. In this example that I created, in reality, it's a lot more. So we have telemetry, documents, issues, subjective comments from drivers, from engineers, communication, simulations that you can generate thousands more of more files. So what I want you to do right now, and Rachel, you let me know if the screen sharing will work well here. What I want you to do now is share my screen. Let me know when you can see my web browser in a black screen, please.
Yep, we can see
All right.
it.
Can you see me scrolling it up?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So guys, we are running, okay, excellent. We are running a live, I'm trying to make it a little larger here. We are running a live analysis here. Let me send this new interaction. So I'm developing these dampers. I'm trying to review all of the data and make decisions, and you will see live with me the interaction going on. So at the beginning, I connected my agent to all of those different data sources. So what I'm doing now is I am asking the agent, hey, we just came back from the full vehicle validation and the driver was having complaints. Can you please review all of the driver complaints and see if the data is confirming that? This will take me maybe multiple days as a vehicle development engineer. So I was reviewing subjective feedback and I was trying to calculate on the data and prove if what the driver was complaining about could be observed on the data. So connecting objective information with subjective information with design parameters of how those dampers were calibrated. And for the first time, we have a technology to do that, which are AI agents. This was simply impossible before. So there you go. So the AI agent is digesting all of the driver feedback in the different scores, as you can see in this large plot over here. Then it is calculating the different KPIs based on the data. So it's trying to come up with objective measurements that will correlate with the subjective feedback from the driver. It will look also at the raw data to observing more nuances. So it's identifying the different maneuvers performed by the driver, zooming in and showing me that indeed this car is too soft, it's rolling too much, it's not stable enough. It's proving that from the data. And as you can see, it's identifying all of the different maneuvers, the stability maneuvers that I ran, cropping them for me, filtering them, overlaying them, and showing the different calibration options that I have. And then it's preparing reports based on that. So, okay, I would like to have that in an engineering report. So there you go. The agent prepared that for me. I can then interact with this report, modify it. But then the beauty is when I engage with this agent, I keep requesting things. So what I said now is the following. You remember that we had also data sources from lab testing, correct? And in practice, I would not have the time to go back to all of those 3 different sources of data in lab testing. Now I have the agent. So I asked the agent, all right, I performed a lot of lab tests with different damper calibrations. Which options of these damper calibrations would give me the desired behavior as reported by the driver? So I asked that to the agent. The agent then found all of the files from the lab testing and will tell me what is the best calibration for me to work on. So there you go. It's telling me all of the different tests that we performed and which one I should be picking. But guys, we are very pragmatic. I think everyone here presenting is very pragmatic about AI agents. There is no such a thing as AI magic. It's not like in 5 minutes I have all of the answers. Well, if we were telling that, you should be very suspicious. No, this is an intentional and scientific investigation. So I'm interacting with the agent, me as the expert. I am bringing my expertise into the problem. I am defining the methodology that I want, and the agent is brilliantly executing it for me, bringing new ideas, brainstorming, and then capturing all of the knowledge for me. So as you can see live, I just sent a message to the agent, and it's asking me, hey, what other calibrations would you like to test? Would you like to simulate? By the way, I didn't say this, but this agent is also connected to simulation software. So it can analyze the platform and comfort of this vehicle, but it's asking me how to proceed. And then I can say, okay, actually, I want this one and I want this one. So please simulate these 2 configurations. Go ahead, continue to execute. So I hope to be giving live a demonstration of what we call now agentic engineering, working together with an AI agent to find results. Another quick example would be, all right, I want to analyze all of the components that came from the supplier that we observed issues as we were testing them in the laboratory. So the agent compiled not only what had issues, but the proof of the issues. So probably it's including, like we can see here, plots, images, so that I can very quickly send this back to the supplier and tell them, hey, we observed these anomalies, and this is the report proving those. Could you please verify? I'm sending these samples back so that you can verify on your end. And I think you can also appreciate that each of the analysis that we're discussing here, this would be 1, 2, 3 days analysis. And once you have your data properly connected, this goes down from days of analysis to a few hours. And then agents become the most powerful when they do work at scale. So in this case, I asked me as a manager, I wanted to understand the current status of the development cycle. So I asked the agent to compile a summary of the entire development pipeline for all of the different dampers that we've been developing. And the agent could capture all of those, create this summary for me, and also a more detailed report, not only showing, but proving. That's super important. We don't want text. Like us engineers, we want to see plots, we want to see proof, we want to see simulations to validate that. And this is what AI agents bring to the table, especially as you connect it to your input data sources and to your output mechanisms as well. And with this, I would like to conclude this quick demo and we go back to the presentation by saying that AI agents will be learning from your interaction. So what I'm showing you here, each one of these interactions, we have memories being captured, preferences being captured. And when we connect the entire engineering organization, this compounds, this becomes exponential. And all of the analysis that I created, I don't have to repeat them in the future. I can simply ask the agent to store those analyses and then repeat in future analysis as well. Okay, so this was a little bit about how to have AI agents reviewing task data, connecting the design specs, running simulations. We could bring a whole lot more. We could bring video, audio, and so on, but I think we can stop here for now. Great, let me go back and finalize with the conclusions from this and really how to implement all of that to make it very concrete. All right, so this is one of the reports that we generated together, and the agent is finalizing through this plan and creating the final dashboard for us. Rachel, am I back in the presentation?
Yes, you're at the live demo slide that you ended on. Okay,
cool. So, all right, we finished this quick demo, and this is really the impact that we've been seeing customers having. So yesterday, we were in a call with one of our large customers. They are deploying the AI agents not only for the testing division, but actually across the entire organization. And he came up with like a huge analysis. It was really unbelievable. And he told me, I was 6 months away of being able to perform such analysis. Now I'm able to do it monthly and report back to execs. So now actually these analysis that they were doing not even every quarter, maybe every 6 months. Now they are automating, creating this analysis and then sending to execs of the company every month. So all of these analyses are very powerful, are very concrete. But I think it's important for us to be very realistic about implementation, about reliability. So let me walk you step by step of what it would look like or what's our experience deploying this at our customers. So a question that I get very often is the following: Bruno, do I have to replace my workflows with AI agents? That will not work because I've been doing those for years now, for dozens of years in the case of automotive customers. And my answer is no. AI agents should be connecting the flexibility of the human mind with the reliability and consistency of deterministic pipelines, being these scripts, processes, simulations, workflows. The agent is the glue across all of your workflow. They make them finally useful. They make them finally used every time. So every task set that you get, now you don't need one of your engineers to spend an entire day trying to make your workflows work. No, the agent is connecting to those workflows, figuring out all of the issues, and then integrating those. But of course, you should expect, based on our experience, you should also expect a changing mindset. So yes, you will have to adapt your workflows, but it's not replacing them. It's just making them more available. My second topic here is that this is continuous improvement. Like some of my colleagues in the conference spoke about, you will be improving. You will start with a small use case and then you enlarge it. I hear people, I need to fix all of my data pipelines before I deploy AI agents. And we prove that the contrary. I'm sure that you have at least a couple of areas where your data pipeline is all right. Let's have AI agents working there. Let's have AI agents showing the power of them, because once you prove the power and the ROI, it becomes extremely easy for you to justify refactoring your data pipelines and putting them in a better and more automated state. So it becomes very easy to justify after you get in. And lastly, in terms of implementation, validation and evaluations are extremely important. I'll repeat it. There is no such a thing as AI magic. AI will not give you all of the answers. No, but it will be a powerful tool to get your answers 10, 100 times faster if you do proper validation in the beginning. So we have methodologies to do that. I'm not going to go over them, but we call them evaluations. I'll just try to save some time so that I can finish the other topics. All right, once all of this is implemented, we also have to think about reliability. This is extremely important. We're selling to large companies. So security is an obvious one. So you need to have multiple layers of security in place so that the customer trusts you or trust the platform with their data. So that's extremely important. And data governance was already an important topic. And with AI agent, it becomes even more important. This is something that I should even be discussing with the other presenters here, because this is an ongoing process that will be evolving throughout the next few years, which is the following. So far, we have given importance of data governance to humans, to users. But now, what happens when you have non-humans utilizing the platform? What is the strategy for data governance for your AI agents? Because we cannot conclude that just because you have access to a given data source, all of your AI agents should have access to the same data source. And also think about something else. Maybe you generated a report with the data that your AI agents had access to. Now you're sharing this report with someone else, but they were not supposed to have access to this information. So as you can see, we are developing a lot of new data governance strategies so that we can accommodate large enterprises using AI agents in a safe manner, because safety is even more important than the feature capabilities of the agents. That's why it's a big focus of ours and of the companies developing the field. Connected to that, it's auditability. Now, so until now, we wanted to know what user did what in what computer. Well, now you have AI agents performing action. So you need auditability, obviously from a security standpoint, but also from an improvement perspective. You want to understand how to improve your agents, how to increase their efficiency. And lastly, I promised you that we were going to touch on this. I've been speaking a lot about AI agents running analysis, but I also want to focus on the human being involved in the process, being it the human guiding the analysis when it's an ad hoc or custom analysis. But even in autonomous agents, you have to map every step of the process. Is it non-critical, low risk, medium risk, or critical? Once you map those, you can then decide where we need humans in the loop to validate, verify, and then approve. So throughout the process of executing an AI agent, at least for the next few years, you will have humans being heavily involved in the loop. But still, you will see that as you work with an AI agent, even though you are in the process, you are still seeing at least 10x efficiency gains in the use cases where you have everything automated. Now, you can imagine what will happen in a few years when it is safe to have autonomous agents, like some of our colleagues here in the conference mentioned as well. Lastly, I'd like to finish with this message. So this is becoming a real competitive advantage. We have customers in automotive, in racing, and it's interesting, not only in competitions such as the large NASCAR or IndyCar teams that we support, but even from a business perspective, it becomes a huge advantage. And it's very easy to see why. Developing products and selling products, it's all about, number one, the speed at which you can develop a product and the quality of this product. Now, imagine if you can improve both. So let's take a look here. With AI agents and the AI layer that I talked about, we're seeing an increase of only utilizing 30% of the data, which was my personal experience when I was still a development engineer or a manager, going towards a closer to 100% data utilization. So a lot fewer blind spots. Besides that, so this is better quality product and better products, right? Now you have days going to hours, and this is concrete. We get messages from customers every day with concrete examples. So we are developing it faster. And as we build all of this knowledge, we are going in the direction of safe autonomy. So more and more, we will trust agents over the next few years with proper validation and verification processing in place. Just like we do with software, we are developing for AI agents, which will allow you to do all of this at scale. So in summary, with the AI layer, you can achieve fewer blind spots at much higher speeds and at scale. Guys, one last message. The AI layer change or the AI agent change, it's not only a technical implementation. So I will emphasize it once again. It's also a mindset and a cultural shift. Why? Because when you're managing an AI agent, yes, you have to be an expert, but you also need to have very good management skills, because you manage AI agents in a similar way. It resembles how you manage humans. So you're going to see as a manager, as a C-level executive, you're going to see that some of your best players in terms of managing teams will be extremely good with AI agents, will have huge impact. So think about it. You should be thinking about the next few years, not only implementing and using AI agents, but about the cultural shift and all of the training that goes to have people properly utilizing this platform. Well, that's all that I had to add. I hope that you found it insightful. Extremely excited to be speaking with more of you. If you left questions on the chat, I'm going to reply right now in written, but please feel free to visit us at MOVEdot.ai. Message me directly at Bruno Finco, bruno.finco@movedot.com. We'll be extremely excited to discuss with you possible use cases and how you can use AI agents with product development. And lastly, I recommend that you follow us on LinkedIn, Bruno Finco for my personal page. I'm posting updates every week about how the technology is evolving and what it can already do, and also at move.ai on LinkedIn for us to see a little bit more about our work. Thank you very much.
Wow, Bruno, that was amazing. Thanks so much for that presentation. If you could please stay on the screen. This is a perfect segue into our panel discussion where we can even address some of the questions that came in as a group, I think, because they're all related and all of you have expertise in these areas.